I actually saw this the day after it came out, I think, on September 30th. But I'm just now reviewing it. I'll probably post it tomorrow. Um, I missed probably a good 10 fucking minutes of it because I didn't even know who the character was that was in the end credits. Which, obviously, this is spoilers for Saw X. So I'll get that out of the way. I've seen all the Saw movies. I don't really remember them because I binge watched them on HBO. So they kind of blurred together now. I'm probably going to get the DVD collection sometime. I didn't watch Spiral though. But, anyways, I probably missed a good 10-15 minutes, unlike Barbie, which I only missed like 3 or 4. But they spend like a really long portion, probably a good 10-20 minutes, establishing the fact that John Kramer has cancer. He's gonna die. The dude died in like Saw 3. We know he's dead. It's just very, it's just like way too long for a character that we already know is dead. I get it's a prequel, but way too long. 20 minutes? Too long. I already know the fucker's dead. Um, what else? Well, we eventually get to the action. He kidnaps his taxi driver because I guess he knew he was in on it. Basically, he went to go get his brain tumor removed by these like miracle workers, but it turns out they don't even perform surgery. They just wrap their head in bandages. And then there's like nothing. So then like all their people end up dying. Except for 2 people, which I'll get to that later. Um so he kidnaps his little taxi driver guy. He puts some things on his arms, like bombs, forces him to dig them out of his arms to survive and to kick the bombs away. So he does survive, surprisingly enough. I honestly don't remember too many people that survive Saw traps besides the one dude in the first movie. Because he does get away and they even have him in Saw 7. Um, so yeah, he survives, he gets into the hospital. And now that I think about it, I guess that was a pretty good trap to use on him. Something to his arms when he's a taxi driver and has to use the steering wheel. I don't know if that's why they did it, but that was a pretty good trap. The thing that's on the cover, I'm pretty sure I missed, because I think that was an actual trap in the movie. The traps in this movie are very anticlimactic to the ones I remember in the other movies, just in my opinion, like the needle trap from Saw 2. I'm only doing ones off the top of my head, so if I'm doing the most popular ones, I promise I'm not doing it on purpose. There was that shotgun one. There's one in Saw 7 when they're like out in public and the boyfriends have to pick who dies. There was the one where whoever cut off more body parts got to live. Like, I think the one girl cut off her whole hand and the other guy cut off his finger. There's been some pretty creative traps throughout the series. Well, in this one, a girl cuts off her leg and she's got to like stick something into her leg to suction out the blood, and she only gets 3 fucking minutes. So John Kramer, I don't know why I try to call him Tramer. John Kramer is still, doing like these really short traps. I don't know if I ever criticized that before, but man, the traps are way too short for the things he expects them to do. And I do plan to rewatch the movies and criticize the reasons he puts them in the trap, because I have seen stuff online that makes me think maybe I overlooked what he was doing. But anyways, the other person, he makes him do like brain surgery on himself, because I guess he was the surgeon performing brain surgery on him to get revenge on him. He ends up not doing it in time, and he gets like the least graphic death. He really just screams. They put something over his head so you don't even really see what's happening, but I'm pretty sure he's getting like shocked to death under there. Probably through his brain, since he already had to cut through his brain. So it's probably a pretty painful death, but they don't really show it. He's got his little helmet on now, and he's screaming. And that is something they do a lot in this movie, which, obviously Saw movie. But, they'll just cut to them screaming instead of the actual gore. I am a bit squeamish sometimes when it comes to the Saw movies. Haven't really been with other horror movies, I don't think. Maybe Terrifier 2. But this movie really wasn't that bad. I did cringe at some parts. Then the final girl, for now, gets radiation blasted on her face and leg. She ends up surviving her trap. But then the piece of shit doctor that she works with kills her to cover up what they were doing. Just stomps on her neck. And then she even wants to kill the fucking kid. And then that's when we get the whole plot twist that the dude that John Kramer talked to for 2 seconds near the beginning of the movie when he was getting his cancer treatment done, he's actually her boyfriend. And he did not have throat cancer or whatever. So they're both bad people. So they kidnap this little kid that's playing outside that John Kramer talked to for 2 seconds earlier in the movie. He helped him fix his bike, which was a nice thing to do, but, John Kramer's a fucking serial murderer. Very weird thing. So, he puts them into a trap. They get tortured or whatever. I guess he planned for it to be him and Amanda getting tortured, because that's the only logical reason. They never explain why that trap was there when he already had a trap full of gas for her and the guy, because he knew the guy was bad, I guess, already. Because that was the big plot twist with the Saw music playing. Was he kinda knew or something? But yeah, they torture a fucking kid. And I'm pretty sure she doesn't die. They don't show her death, which is, besides Adam, they didn't show his death, but later in the series they do. So maybe she did die. But she ends up fighting her own boyfriend in this gas chamber room where she's locked in, can't get out. They throw a chair at the window, of course it bounces off. Typical horror movie shit. And then she stick her head through a hole so she doesn't die from the poison or whatever. I guess it doesn't affect her arms or legs, even though it clearly hurts their face. So I guess they can't die from any of their injuries to their arms from the gas or whatever. I get, obviously, the face is a more vital thing with your brain. It's where your oxygen is. But I'm sure they probably could have died from their fucking arms being in the gas chamber room. I don't know. So he ends up dying. She ends up killing him, actually. And then he leaves her there. He doesn't let her out or anything. And then the movie ends. I went back into the theater because I was like, maybe there might be end credits, even though there hasn't been one in Saw before. Just because it's a popular thing now. So I went back. And there was Hoffman from the other movies. I really liked him. He was pretty entertaining. Amanda did fine in this movie. A lot of people didn't like her haircut, but I didn't have a problem with it. It was fine. But yeah, they torture this guy. Him and Hoffman do. And I guess he was someone that kind of betrayed Hoffman early in the movie. Not Hoffman, John. But I missed some of the movie, as I already said. So my one little gripe is I've never really paid attention to actors' age in the movie unless it's really noticeable. Because a lot of people were always oh, Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, too old to be Spider-Man and play high schoolers. They didn't look too old to me. They didn't look like high schoolers, but they didn't look too old to me. In this movie, It's a fucking prequel. John's been dead for who knows how long. And Amanda's been, I'm not sure if she died. I don't exactly remember. I know Hoffman did. But I'm pretty sure they're both dead too. And this is a prequel. And they all look decently old. Not too noticeable, but definitely older than what they were in the past. So, that was weird. And yeah, that's really about it. It was kind of anticlimactic. A lot of people loved this movie, though, calling it the best Saw. And I do think it was pretty good. And I'm glad they gave it more than a storyline than most Saw movies got since the first one. And the first one's the one with the most story. Saw 2 had a decent story. But even though I liked some of the later ones, a lot of the later ones did not have a very good story. So I can see why people liked it, but personally, it was a bit anticlimactic with some of the traps. And just, it was kind of boring at times. Like, there was way too much of John's cancer. We don't need to know the dude that they've established that has cancer. Like the Deadpool movie, it dealt with cancer too, but it did not do it as long as that. It was still an important part to the plot, but it wasn't 30 minutes of non-stop letting you know the dude has cancer. And yeah, that's about it.